Since Oberon's Revisit went live, they have actually fixed a lot of the major problems that were there to begin with. Smite now isn't much of a nerf as it was. It now has a base damage of 500, which is a physical damage number to it, which means that it will always do that. And the 20% of targets' max health and shields has been increased to 35, which means the orbs that come off it after you shoot it now do a little bit more damage than they used to. Of course, this scales up to higher level enemies, which means it will also scale down to lower level enemies, but it's 35% of the enemy's max health and shields, so aim for the highest level or the strongest thing around you, and the 35% that comes out of it will actually deal a nice amount of damage to the things around it. The orbs, well, I think it's 6 as standard number of orbs that come off it. This can also be affected by mods. The initial 500 base damage that they added to it in the hotfix can also be increased with damage mods, so that number will go up. So Smite is better now than it was. In that same hotfix, they also had a play with renewal, and they removed the heal time from it and basically turned it into a toggle ability that drains energy, remembering that renewal was changed into an energy drain type ability instead of you just kind of shoot it off and the orbs fly off to heal people. Now it does it over time, and it will drain your power in that time. It does still have the armor buff ability to it, but this armor buff from renewal only works when you're standing on hallowed ground, and this is where people seem to be getting rather annoyed with Oberon's Revisit, because hallowed ground is a huge improvement. I'm liking it over its old version quite a lot, but its radius is only 15. The range of renewal is 25, and Smite is 50. Numbers don't really add up that much. I've heard that it's a nerf to the range and the damage of hallowed ground, but to be fair, Smite is what deals damage, and Reckoning it also deals damage, which is why I've never seen Oberon as a solely supporting frame. But at the same time, the power range of Reckoning is exactly the same as hallowed ground, which is 15, which means as long as you have hallowed ground active, Reckoning, the armor debuff that Reckoning still casts on enemies, or now casts on enemies, that still takes effect, because as long as you don't move when you cast hallowed grounds, Reckoning is still going to debuff the armor. That could be pretty decent. It's only, I think, 30% reduction in armor if you cast Reckoning while in the middle of hallowed grounds, but it's still a very short-ranged ability, but these are of course affected by power range mods. I do understand why people are looking at this Revisit and saying that it's generally kind of doesn't meld together as well as they said it would, the whole synergy side of this, where you need to be on hallowed ground when casting Reckoning to have the armor debuff, or on hallowed ground when casting renewal to get the armor buff. With hallowed ground being such a short area, this is the main problem with it. If hallowed ground was maybe 20 radius instead of 15, it might have been, actually it would have been a lot better. But I don't have a problem with his Revisit here. Okay, he may be slightly weaker than he was according to everything everybody keeps saying. I personally don't see it. Yes, you have to use other abilities, but that was kind of the point of revisiting him. Instead of just going in and either casting Smite and Reckoning all the time to deal damage, or hallowed ground to deal damage, or renewal to heal, you've got to mix the abilities up a little bit. People do this with most frames anyway, so I understand that they don't synergize well with each other because of the whole radius. Just the range of these is all over the place. Nothing really matches apart from Reckoning and hallowed ground. kind of wish that Hallowed Ground had 50. Hallowed Ground had 25 to match Renewal, because Renewal's base range is 25. Then maybe Reckoning was also 25. Then have Smite as 50 would make sense, it's twice as long, but the armor buff for the allies and the armor debuff on enemies would all be within the same range, instead of Hallowed Ground being 15, Renewal being 25, and Reckoning being 15. Renewal is still outside of the Hallowed Ground range, so the armor buff isn't going to help much. The heal over time, it makes sense. Having it just go out and heal a certain percentage was useful, but now it should hopefully heal a lot more and be a lot better as a supporting frame. It's made him extremely power hungry though. He has an insane thirst for the power. It is just ridiculous. But at the same time, they've got a really good habit of things that people don't like, they tend to change about the frames, especially considering it's just been done. They've already taken a first attempt at this, and to be fair, what came in 20.3.1, the fixes to Renewal and Smite, did make it much better than it was beforehand. And there may also be more to come in the future. But I'm going to leave this off here for now. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this will come soon. Or the other fixes will come soon, mainly just, to me, it's just got to be range. Especially if him being the next Prime is true. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch yous next time.